Conservative activist Charlie Kirk's murder yesterday at Utah Valley University is being seen as a political assassination, an act of political violence at a time when we are extremely politically divided. How serious is it, and what can we do about it?
On the KOGO News Live line is the president of the San Diego-based National Conflict Resolution Center, Stephen Dinkin. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us on KOGO News.
Good morning.
We've had almost 24 hours to digest this horrible news. Any thoughts during the time to digest what has occurred in Utah?
I want to begin by saying that the assassination of Charlie Kirk is really an attack on our democracy, and it's an attack on our freedom of speech, and that I condemn all forms of political violence, really more broadly societal violence. This is really a terrible moment in our history.
I really hate to ask you this, but do you think this is the tip of the iceberg?
What I'm seeing is a long pattern. Back in the 60s, there were a series of assassinations with Malcolm X and MLK and Robert Kennedy, JFK. But since 2011, looking at the last, let's say, 15 years, we've seen a pattern of increased political violence. Gabby Giffords in 2011, U.S. Reps Steve Scalise, Paul Pelosi, just recently Minnesota State House Speaker Melissa Hortman, John Hoffman, and in our own community. Just at a County Board of Supervisor meeting on August 26th, the moniker was called a racial slur, and it's those embers that really lead to more flames and greater tragedy. So this is a trend that we're seeing of the political divide that is just increasing day after day.
Let's talk about solutions. I just think it would be a refreshing conversation. And what everybody wants to know is how we can move forward toward less division and less violence. And so since you're the president of National Conflict Resolution Center, what is that group doing to try and lower the heat when it comes to politics?
What we're seeing is really a spectrum of political beliefs that are moving to the extreme, both on the liberal mindset and on the conservative mindset. And the National Conflict Resolution Center, we've established a Applied Research Center for Civility in partnership with UC San Diego. And as of July 1st, we launched a 2-year study on how to address incivility and lack of trust in our democratic process. We're going to develop a toolkit that can be used for the 2028 presidential elections. We're looking at social media, traditional media, debate structure, political advertising, fundraising, political campaigning, and trying to understand what are the causes and the hurdles toward a more civil political discourse and to have an election where people can have a restored sense of trust.
Because your whole thing is to stop conflict and create peace, you must just want to turn the volume down or even pull the plug on social media all the time.
There is a heightened level of rhetoric that we're seeing that is so extreme that is really pulling people apart. And what we're trying to do is develop broad-based trainings at the National Conflict Resolution Center, like the Dialogue and Divisive Times, Communicate to De-escalate. These are key trainings that are teaching individuals how to have a conversation even though they disagree. And I think it's so ironic that this attack occurred on a college campus, because the college campus, Utah Valley University, and all college campuses really should be the bastion of freedom of expression and debate. And this is exactly what's not happening because people can't debate in a respectful way.
Yeah, very good point. Stephen, thank you for what you're doing, and thanks for joining us on KOGO News.
My pleasure.
Stephen Dinkin is the president of the San Diego-based National Conflict Resolution Center.